Then I tried to find a building where we were going to shoot. I messaged my contact at the production studio. They sent me the location. I put it into Google Maps and found that it was 2 hours away by car. My heart was pounding. The shoot was supposed to start in like 15 minutes. Had I accidentally gone to the wrong place? Did everyone try to warn me? Had I gone 2 hours in the wrong direction? Hello and welcome to Stories with Daniel A. Johnson. I'm your host, Daniel A. Johnson, and this is the story of my first acting job. I got an email asking me to audition for this acting job. It said something along the lines of, "This is for a prominent part with no lines and it pays this amount of money." I felt like the amount of money was a little bit too small to accept it, not because I think I'm so talented that I deserve to be paid so much more. I don't. I would be willing to take a job paying way less if I didn't have to pay for a flight and book a hotel room. But because the job was in a different city, I did have to pay for a flight and a hotel room, and the pay was barely enough to cover that cost. So I didn't answer the email. The only reason I was even asked to audition for this was because I had applied to another job that was produced by the same production company. They had put me in the archives, and when this job came around, they got their shovels out and dug me up because they felt like I was a good fit for this new job. Usually production studios would tell you to not email them unless it's very important, so I felt like me ignoring the email would signal that I wasn't interested. Cut to a few days later, and I got another email from them, this one saying, "Are you gonna send in the self-tape?" And I was like, solid, okay, I'll send in a self-tape. It's not like I'm gonna get this job anyway. At this point I hadn't booked anything, so my confidence wasn't exactly soaring. It would take like 10 minutes to shoot the thing, so I set everything up in a bathroom. I had some people over, so it was better for me to do it there, as I couldn't ask them to go and hang out in a bathroom while I was shooting the self-tape in the living room. And before anyone says anything, I have a rather large bathroom with a bathtub and everything, so I wasn't like shooting this self-tape on the toilet. I gathered some props, made very sure the toilet wasn't in shot the thing and sent it in. A few days or a week later, I got a phone call that I missed. Just like Henry Cavill in Superman. So I'm basically Henry Cavill, or as I call him, Mr. Lord Cavill Dr. Sir. We're even the same height. All the other aspects of us are different. He's a lot more charming than me, he's a lot better looking, more successful, but same height, both missed a call about an acting job. I was probably playing World of Warcraft when I missed a call, just like he was. So we're basically the same person. I'm sure that I will eventually in my acting career be replaced by Liam Hemsworth, but if I'm honest, who wouldn't replace me with Liam Hemsworth? Then I got a message from the same number saying it's about the acting job, and yeah, the message actually said that, as if they knew it was the only one. So I called them back. They were wondering if I could shave my beard and what size clothes I'm wearing. I was like, okay, how short do you need me to shave it? This is my size. Can I keep a little bit? The person I talked to said, I'll check. And then I got a message back saying as short as possible. So I waited until the day before the shoot, grew my beard out longer than I intended, because why groom it if I'm just gonna have to shave it off? And then I shaved it all off, even used a razor for the first time in like 100 years. The reason I had to shave my beard off was because if I hadn't, I would have had to wear a mask, and they wanted to see my whole face. It's not great for an actor to have to wear a mask, unless you're doing commedia dell'arte. I went to bed, got no sleep. I was planning on flying down the day before and then sleep until noon at the hotel, because the shoot wasn't until the afternoon, and then take a night flight back home the day of the shoot. But someone convinced me to fly down the day of the shoot and stay overnight. If I had gone with my original plan, I would have had to stay an extra day in this other city, because the last flight home was at 11, and that would have given me less than an hour to get to the airport, so I think the option I went with was better. And that is part of the reason I was reluctant to take this job, because I had to make some really uncomfortable sacrifices to not take a loss, and I did take a loss anyway. So I got up bright and early the next morning at 6 a.m, feeling and looking like shit. Ran into someone I kind of know at the airport. I did not strike up a conversation. Hopefully my lack of a beard made it so that she didn't recognize me.
This is your captain speaking. Fasten your seatbelt, put your luggage in the overhead compartment, not necessarily in that order, though I would be impressed. Execute Order 66. Good soldiers follow orders. Can a gentleman in seat 4A come to the cockpit? Thank you, sir. Okay, now that's all sorted. Hope you have a pleasant flight. And Dave, put on a headset.
A while later, and I was walking around the other airport, trying to figure out how to get to my next destination. The shoot was a little bit outside the city, in this industrial area. So I walked up to the train company desk and asked if they knew how to get there. I told them what hotel I was staying at, and they were like, "Are you sure that's in an industrial area?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. How do I get there?" He was like, "Well, you can't take a train. Go ask at the bus desk." So I went to the bus desk, which was just around the corner, told them where I was staying, and they were like, "Are you sure? That's in an industrial area?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure. How do I get there?" It's so weird that they had that reaction to me staying at a hotel at an industrial area. For all they knew, I could be going to some industrial conference or something. Eventually, I was told what bus to take, and I got on the bus and we drove to the hotel. And when I was about to walk off the bus driver was like, "Are you sure, mate? This is an industrial area." Nah, I didn't care. He was like, "If you get stabbed." I didn't see anything. So I walked around the entire hotel to find the entrance because it wasn't obvious where it was. Also, I was extremely tired. On the website, when I ordered a room, it said that I couldn't check in until noon. I arrived at the hotel around 10. I really wanted to get some sleep before the shoot. I asked at the desk if I could check in straight away, and I was told that check-ins are at noon, but he could check if they had a vacant room. "And by the way, this is an industrial area. Are you sure you're in the right place?" Yeah, I'm sure." "Okay, we have a vacant room, but it's with 2 beds, not one large like you ordered." I was like, "I don't care, I'll take it. I just want to sleep." So I got that room. Some girl had to show me how the elevator works because it's one of those where you have to scan your card before clicking the buttons, put all my stuff away, and then immediately fell down on the bed. And I managed to get some half sleep before heading to the location. An area called, I'm not kidding you, Meat City. The shoot was at this butchery and we were warned about the smell, and it did smell because animals often defecate when they're getting slaughtered. I arrived a little early, so I sat down at a cafe nearby, bought a cup of coffee, trying to get some much needed energy, and the guy behind the counter said, "You're aware that this is an industrial area?" Then I tried to find the building where we were going to shoot. I messaged my contact at the production studio. They sent me the location. I put it into Google Maps and found that it was 2 hours away by car. My heart was pounding. The shoot was supposed to start in like 15 minutes. Had I accidentally gone to the wrong place? Did everyone try to warn me? Had I gone 2 hours in the wrong direction? Thankfully, my contact had sent me the wrong address. Because they were doing 2 shoots at the same day in 2 different locations, the other shoot was just about to start and she had accidentally sent me the address for that location. This all got cleared up when I called her in a state of panic. "Holy shit, I've gone to the wrong location. What do I do?" Relax. Are you in an industrial area?" "Yeah." "You're in the right place. And you're meant to be there, sweetheart. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." The rest of the cast and crew arrived. My scene partner was this pretty prominent comedian. I'd seen her name on the call sheet, but it was only her first and middle name. So like Jamie Lee. And I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis? It wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis, just using her name as an example. So she showed up and I was like, oh, it is her. I greeted her, played it cool. I've seen her in a few things. I know she's famous, but I don't really have much of a relationship to her. It's kind of like if someone who doesn't watch football meets Harry Maguire, or someone who watches a lot of football meets Harry Maguire, or a Manchester United fan meets Harry Maguire, or Harry Maguire looking at himself in the mirror wondering why he can't be a decent defender. All I'm saying is he is no Daniel Anthony Johnson, attacking midfielder for Stoke City and the Jamaican national team. She was a very pleasant person and a lot of the cast and crew flocked around her. We did talk a little, but I was really tired and trying to focus on the shoot, so I kind of just sat by myself drinking coffee. The shoot was long. We started around 3 and kept going until 10. I know that's a pretty standard work day, short even, but it did feel very long because we were shooting the same thing over and over again. They had just slaughtered a bunch of animals, so the shoot was a little bit delayed because of that. And the director pointed out to me that there was a huge amount of blood on one of the walls. And I was like, wouldn't want to be here in the evening. While I was there, in the evening, like I said, I was tired. But even though I was tired, I kept my focus every time the camera rolled, and I gave 100%. I might have looked like a ghost, but a ghost giving 100%. As I said earlier, we had to shoot the same thing over and over again. They had changed the script the day before because they had gotten something wrong. One of the props we were going to use was described as being used in the wrong way in the original script, and this was a work safety commercial. so we definitely couldn't use things wrong, so that needed to be changed, and some of the lines with it. To be fair, nobody knew what the thing was. The original script said that I was supposed to lift it, and when I saw the thing, I was like, I was supposed to lift this? It was massive and heavy. We had to move it a few times, and we did it with great difficulty. Between takes, the comedian was learning her lines, and I kind of bothered her a little bit when she was doing that. She was going through her lines, and I kind of answered her. She had these crutches, and she pretended to hit me with them, so I feel like it was all fun and games. We had to redo a lot of takes because there was this guy washing up blood and other stuff whilst we were shooting, and he didn't understand the sign for silence on set. And why would he? He's not an actor. So every time the camera started rolling, a guy went over to give the signal, and maybe he thought that it meant it's okay to start power washing now, or I'll murder you if you don't start power washing right now. So all we heard on those takes were the power washer going. All the lines were washed away. I was on set a lot. When I finally got a break, I went to grab a cup of coffee and sat down in the break room, and I must have looked miserable because one of the production assistants came over and asked if I was okay, and I was like, I'm fine. Part of it was because of lack of sleep, another part of it is I don't feel comfortable being out in public without a beard, so I probably look tired and uncomfortable, a wonderful combination. Hopefully, I looked a lot better on tape. When the shoot was over, I asked if I could have the footage for my acting profile, and the director was like, sure! He said I was very professional and that I did a great job, and then when I got back to the hotel room, I saw that I had gotten an email from the production studio saying, will you send us an invoice? And I was like, shit, how do I do that? I googled it, I tried to figure it out, and I couldn't. So I sent an email back, is there any other way I could get paid? I got an email back saying, regular pay, but you're gonna have to pay taxes on it. I was like, that's fine. And then I botched getting paid a little bit more before I finally managed to send all the information I needed. So if you're an actor, find out how you're getting paid before you do the job. Lesson learned. I never got that footage. I tried to email the production company, but I got no response. And I'm a little bit worried that it has something to do with me botching getting paid, because they couldn't use the footage I'm in before paying me. Then I emailed the company that had ordered the commercial. They go back to me saying that they'll check, and then immediately afterwards, we can't send you the footage as we are not the one that produced it. I didn't see that last email, so I sent back, fantastic, smiley face, which I hope didn't come off as passive aggressive, smiley face. So I'm probably never getting that footage, and that sucks. It's a credit that I can't really prove that I have. I have it on my acting profile as a job that I've done, but I feel like it would be way better to have the footage to back it up, even though I probably look a little bit like a reanimated corpse in it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope things turn around for you if they need to, and stay good if they're good. Click that subscribe button and desperately try and slap that bell back to life. Previously on Stories with Daniel A. Johnson. And nail that bell to a cross like some twisted reenactment of the crucifixion of Christ.